Affirmation serves as a gentle anchor, especially in moments when the familiar mindset begins to resurface. In those instances, pause and consciously shift to an empowering thought. Each breath reassures me that all is well by anchoring me in the present moment, where there is no urgency, only the steady rhythm of life flowing through me. As I inhale, I receive the energy and clarity needed for this moment. As I exhale, I let go of tension and resistance. This natural cycle mirrors the effortless balance of existence, reminding me that well-being is my foundation and that all is unfolding as it should. Today's affirmation.
Each breath reassures me that all is well. Each breath I take is a quiet whisper of reassurance, a gentle reminder that I am held in the flow of life. As I inhale, I feel my chest expand, welcoming fresh energy, clarity, and ease. The air moves through me effortlessly, filling every space with a sense of calm. In this moment, nothing is urgent, nothing is lacking. There is only the steady rhythm of my being, syncing with the natural harmony of existence. My breath does not rush. It does not resist. It simply flows, steady and unwavering, just as life itself continues to unfold in perfect order. And as I exhale, I release any lingering tension, any thoughts of doubt or strain, allowing them to dissolve into the stillness. With each cycle of breath, I grow more aware of the deep, unshaken presence within me. It is the space beyond worry, beyond fleeting concerns, the place where true well-being resides. The world may shift, circumstances may change, yet this breath remains, always guiding me back to the knowing that all is well. In this rhythm, I recognize that I am supported, not by effort or struggle, but by the simple, effortless flow of life itself. There is no need to hold on too tightly, no need to fear the unknown. Each inhale fills me with trust. Each exhale frees me to receive the ease that has always been here. And in this knowing, I find peace.
Thought transforming, expanded awareness, mindful insights, conscious creating. Whether it's a shift in perspective, a spark of inspiration, or a powerful reminder of your own creative power, Talk Tells invites you to dive deep into the unseen forces shaping our lives, and how to consciously create the experiences we desire. We'll uncover the subtle energies that influence our reality, and explore how aligning with these forces can transform our intentions into tangible outcomes.
How would your life change if you realized your thoughts are the blueprint and your emotions are the energy that brings them to life? What would it mean to you to recognize your outer world as a direct mirror of your inner state? How could your reality evolve if you remembered that the universe responds to your energy, not just your words? What might you attract if you believed alignment requires allowing, rather than effort? The energy you send out determines the reality you draw.
Welcome to Infinite Consciousness, Talk Tells. Thank you for joining us. We're thrilled to have you here.
There is an idea, one that may challenge the way you see life, source, and your place in this vast existence. Today, we're diving into a perspective that can change the way you see yourself, your struggles, and your journey. It is this: Source is always looking the other way when you stumble. Not out of neglect, not out of indifference, but out of unconditional understanding. This means that when you feel like you've failed, when you carry shame over past choices, when you believe you've made mistakes too great to overcome, Source is not looking at those things. Source does not dwell on what you think is wrong with you. It does not measure you by your regrets or define you by your missteps. Source is never fixated on your shortcomings because it knows they do not define you. Settle in as we're going to explore why this is not only reality, but how embracing it can set you free. Breaking this down from a broader perspective, human conditioning often reinforces the belief that every flaw, mistake, or perceived failure is scrutinized under an unrelenting cosmic microscope. There is a tendency to define identity through shortcomings, fearing judgment, whether from society, from others, or from some higher power. This conditioning fosters a habit of scrutinizing imperfections as if they are permanent marks rather than fleeting moments in an evolving journey. However, the truth is that source, whatever one conceives it to be, is not fixated on what is perceived as wrong. And why is that? Because what is labeled as wrong is merely an interpretation, a passing moment, a thought pattern assigned meaning through perspective. What feels like failure is not an ultimate truth but a temporary experience, shaped by perception. Source sees beyond these fleeting moments. It perceives existence in wholeness, not as a collection of missteps, but as an ever-expanding process of unfolding and becoming. Consider a child learning to walk. They stumble. They fall. Yet, no one chastises them for failing. No one declares them incapable. Instead, their efforts are encouraged and celebrated, recognized as natural, necessary, and even beautiful. There is no failure in their process, only growth. Now, expand that idea beyond learning to walk. What if life itself operates in the same way? What if every misstep, every so-called mistake, is simply another step forward? What if Source has never judged at all, only seen continuous capability, movement, and expansion? How would perspective shift if existence were viewed in that way? Here is where it gets interesting. If Source is never focused on what is wrong, why is so much attention given to perceived flaws and mistakes? This tendency is learned. From an early age, the idea is reinforced that focusing on problems is the key to solving them, that identifying flaws is necessary for improvement, and that scrutinizing what is broken is essential to making it whole. However, the law of attraction reveals a different truth. Where attention goes, energy flows. When focus is placed on what is wrong, on flaws, mistakes, or regrets, those aspects are not just observed. They are energized. They expand, repeating an experience not as a punishment, but as a reflection of where energy is being directed. Whatever receives sustained attention is perpetuated. Now, contrast this with the way Source perceives existence. Source is not scanning for shortcomings. It does not dwell on the past, on doubts, or on perceived failures. Instead, Source holds a vision of well-being, expansion, and fulfillment, not as a distant ideal, but as a present reality. The essence of existence is movement, always unfolding, always becoming. Aligning with this perspective requires a shift in focus. Not toward what seems broken, but toward what is evolving. Not toward what is regretted, but toward what is possible. Not toward what is lacking, but toward what is emerging. Just like a compass, focus determines direction. Where attention is placed will shape the path ahead. Let's bring this down to the personal, to the practical. If you find yourself feeling stuck in regret, self-doubt, or judgment, how do you shift? How do you step out of that cycle and into a perspective that aligns with your greater becoming? First, recognize this. Self-criticism is just a habit of focus. And like any habit, it can be shifted. The patterns of thought you've been practicing are not permanent. They are simply well rehearsed. But just as they were learned, they can also be unlearned. You have the power to direct your focus in a way that serves you rather than limits you. Try this. 1. Practice catching yourself. Become aware of when self-judgment sneaks in. The moment you notice yourself being critical, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself, I am looking where Source is not looking. Let me shift. That simple interruption creates space for a new perspective. 2. Redirect the lens. If you wouldn't chastise a child for learning, why do it to yourself? When a child stumbles while learning to walk, we don't call them a failure. We encourage them. Treat yourself with that same understanding. Speak to yourself as you would someone you love. Not out of denial of growth, but out of support for it. 3. Ask, where would Source be looking? At any moment, you can shift by asking, where is the higher perspective in this? Where is the becoming, the expansion, the next step? Instead of focusing on what went wrong, train yourself to look toward what is possible. Every experience holds an opportunity for growth. Where is yours? When you practice this enough, something profound happens. You stop defining yourself by your missteps. You stop replaying past failures as if they are permanent truths. Instead, you start living forward instead of backward. And that is where transformation begins. Imagine, for a moment, the freedom you would feel if you truly embraced this. That there has never been a single moment when Source looked at you with disappointment. That no matter how far you believed you had fallen, Source never saw you as broken, only as whole, capable, and worthy. That even in your darkest hour, there was never judgment, only an unwavering knowing that you are still on your path, still becoming, still expanding. Because this is the truth. When you stumble, Source does not see failure, only movement. When you hesitate, Source does not see doubt, only a moment of recalibration. When you fall, Source does not see defeat, only the next opportunity to rise. Source sees beyond the temporary, beyond the momentary struggle, beyond the stories you tell yourself about what went wrong. Source only sees the next step, the unfolding, the expansion, the ever-present potential within you. And the only thing that keeps you from seeing it too, where you choose to look. So take this with you today. Carry this knowing that Source is always seeing the best in you, that you can train yourself to do the same, and that life is not about fixing what's wrong. It's about stepping into what's next. Because in the eyes of Source, you have never been broken. You have never been off course. You have only ever been in motion, learning, growing, becoming.
Thank you for tuning in to Talk Tells. For listening, for opening yourself to a new way of seeing. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may need a reminder. Remember, Source is always looking the other way when you stumble, never at what you think is wrong. Perhaps it's time for you to do the same. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep stepping forward, keep aligning with the gaze of Source.